Today we are going to talk about, of course, Better Factory, and the webinar is going to be divided in 3 sessions. The first one is going to be devoted to the manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps. The second one is going to start now at 10, and it's going to take 45 minutes. Then we will have another session devoted to artists. So those of you who are would like to apply as a manufacturing SMEs, this is your session. And as I say, then there will be a one session devoted to the artists, and another one in the end at 12 o'clock devoted to the technical suppliers. I think maybe we can start, and then if people join us. In any case, the presentations are going to be very similar, but with regard to the project Better Factory itself, of course, each session will be have its particularities for each of the 3 potential types of applicants we would like to get in the Better Factory project. So let's start. So before I start, as you see, today we are on the 15th of February. There will be another webinar with the same explanations and the same content on the 9th of March. So any of you who would like, or you after this session still have some doubts or comments to make, they can still go for the second webinar. And the other thing is that this session is being recorded, so any of you who would like afterwards to get a copy, you can have. Okay, so what is Better Factory? Most of you may already know that we are a new initiative, so a European Union funded project that aims to help the European manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps to enter new markets. I underline the fact that we are talking about European. This is an important word. You will see that for the criteria of eligibility, we are addressing the European applicants, and also the fact that the SMEs have to be from a manufacturing sector. So the idea is that we want to help these companies to enter these new markets through the collaboration with artists and technology suppliers. There's other projects in the European Union that are also focusing on manufacturing SMEs, and typically with the help of technology suppliers. What makes a Better Factory singular or different from the other ones is that we are introducing a new element, which is the collaboration with artists. We will see that we can create, thanks to their design capability, a better products and new products, and be or allow these manufacturing SMEs to enter, to widen their markets and introduce new products. So Better Factory as the consortium will provide support for these manufacturing SMEs, and I'm adding also the mid-cap. We will define what the mid-cap is, but sometimes we are having this question as at first, what kind of company are you expecting to get? So we will see that we are addressing SMEs and mid-caps. And the basic idea is that these companies can reduce their production cost. Thanks to this collaboration, they can have a redesign of the products, and we will also provide consultancy on financial and business. Because, of course, the final idea is to make their business grow. Actually, our motto is, as you can see in the up of the slides, that we want to make the manufacturing companies grow their business. So how is going to be done this? We will see along the presentation, but these companies will be given access to a marketplace that is underway, but it's already at a certain level of development. The robotics and automation marketplace, which is, as I say, a marketplace that belongs to the project, and it's a B2B internet marketplace that makes possible the collaboration between the manufacturing SMEs, mid-caps, the technology suppliers, the artists, and also the consultants that are going to be provided by the project, so that they can sell and buy products and services. So the idea is that you as manufacturing SME, you can get into this ramp marketplace and buy the technology and the services that are provided by the technology suppliers, the financial and business consultants, and the artists. Of course, when you say buy and sell, is after the project has ended. During the project, this is going to be for free, of course. There is going to be a collaboration. And not only will be for free, but the idea is that Better Factory will provide you funds to make this collaboration happen. And since we want this project to be sustainable in the future, that's why we are saying that using this marketplace and getting you used to this marketplace, in the end, you will be able to use this marketplace as your common or your standard tool to make business with other technology suppliers and artists. So we have already mentioned that there are three key elements in Better Factory. One is the manufacturing SME and mid-cap. So what we understand by a manufacturing SME or an SME is you have this definition here, which is defined by the European Commission. So if you are a company, a small and medium-sized enterprise, which a headcount is lower than 250 employees, and the turnover is less than 50 million euros, you are eligible. But introducing the mid-cap concept, the mid-cap is the same company, but the difference is that it's a larger company. So if your headcount is lower than 3,000 euros, you are also eligible. For the rest of the companies that have more than 3,000 euros, we consider them big companies and they cannot be eligible. In the Q&A sessions, you can make me some questions or regarding this, because we have plenty of questions in all the projects about this. And there are many cases that can apply. For example, you can be an SME, a potential SME, but owned by a big company. I can tell you from the very beginning that this is not an eligible SME. So an SME has to be independent and fully owned by shareholders that are not big companies. So that being said, that's one of the categories that will be able to join the Better Factory project. And of course, they have to be manufacturing SMEs. We will see that in a further slide, that we are going to pay special attention to a certain number of sectors in the industry. The second element is the artists. We are going to focus a specific, to have a specific presentation to the artists later in the morning. And these artists, of course, are here to collaborate with both types, the manufacturing SMEs and the technology suppliers, and provide their creativity capacity to make redesign and co-creation of new products and services. And the third element is the technology suppliers, which are interested to use advanced robotics and technologies for the lean agile production. It means this a technique which allows companies to be more productive and use less, be more effective in the resources, in the energy, etc. So we call the lean agile production. That's something that these technology providers suppliers can provide to, I would say, the consortium to make the collaboration be fruitful. So what we are offering is to become or to be part of a knowledge transfer program for consortia that are constituted by the three elements: one manufacturer SME or mid-cap, one artist, and one technology supplier. KT is the acronym of Knowledge Transfer Experiment. So we are talking about, yes, an experiment that is going to be done by the three components in a common consortium. They have to join and conform a consortium. We will see how this is done. And for that, we are going to launch two different open calls, one now and the other one in later in the future, next year or so. And in the end, we are going to select 8 KTs for each open call, and each KT will receive 200,000 euros of EU funds to develop the project they are going to apply for. Okay, so of course, as I say, as Better Factory, we are going to support these experiments in a certain number, with a certain number of services. We are going to describe them in detail later. But as I said, there are 6 sectors that are prioritized from the industry, because we want to focus on these sectors and make them be more, I would say, capable of digitizing, because all these projects, what they pretend is not only to make the companies, the manufacturing companies, to be more efficient in their production cost, but of course to be digitalized. And this digital transformation, we have seen that in these 6 sectors is critical. So plastic and rubber, furniture and wood, food and agriculture, construction, metal and machinery, textile and leather. This doesn't mean that if you are working in an industry which is not doesn't take part of these sectors, you are not eligible, but during the evaluation phase, we will pay more focus and more attention on proposals that come from this sector. Okay, so regarding the open call, we are now promoting to reach this and to select the KTEs, the knowledge transfer experiments. It is very important to know how this process is done, because it is divided in 3 steps, what we call 3 steps. We are now facing the first step, okay? So in this first step, which started on the 18th of January and will last on the 18th of March, we have launched a call for expressions of interest from manufacturing SME and mid-cap. So the idea is that we can get the interest of you, all of you, from throughout Europe, any manufacturing SMEs, especially those who deal with the sectors I mentioned before. And in this phase, it's just a pre-selection we are going to do, because this call is individual. So we are just calling for manufacturing SMEs. For the artists, we are going to do the same. We are doing actually the same right now. And for the technology suppliers, we are doing the same. But regarding the manufacturing SMEs, okay, this call for expressions of interest, and we're starting the end of February, the pre-selection process. We are going to check if you comply with a certain number of eligibility criteria I'm going to go through later. And if you pass this pre-selection phase, then you will be asked to register in the marketplace in RAMP. And why? Because thanks to this marketplace, you're going to be put in contact with an artist and a technology supplier. That's the step 2. So that's something that we are going to do between the last week of February until 15th of, last week of February until the 15th of April. And in this matchmaking process, of course, we are going to support you constantly. So you are not going to just register in RAMP and then wait for news. You are going to be in continuous relation with us, with the Better Factory project, and we are going to give you support on which can be the best artist or the best technology supplier that fits into you better. Okay. In the end, the idea is that once this matchmaking process is done and you have found the right artist and the right technology supplier, then the 3 of them can apply to the open call for full proposals from consortium. So now there is I repeat, because this is very important, we are in step 1. So you just need to apply individually and give basically information regarding your company, and we do a pre-selection, and then after the matchmaking, the consortium that is promoted, you can apply to this phase, and then after that there will be I have explained that already. So there will be a full proposal selection process, and that's when the real, I would say, the true open call process starts, because here there's a competition, real competition between your proposal, and when I say your proposal, I mean the proposal from your consortium, a consortium that you will have conformed with an artist and a technology supplier with our support. And so once you have submitted the proposal, then there will be an evaluation, a proper evaluation from our experts from the consortium. The consortium is led by VTT, which is a Finnish research center, very well known, and we are about 25 partners, including a large number of technology suppliers, of experts in the world of the artists and the SMEs, etc. So there will be a pool of evaluators. The important thing for you is that each proposal will be evaluated by two different experts from the Better Factory consortium. And after that, there will be a ranking that will be established with a certain number of scores, a certain number of criteria to be taken into account. And there will be a consensus meeting from what we call the selection committee, which is formed by the core partners plus two of the Better Factory experts. And in that phase, we will select, after this consensus meeting, we will pre-select or select 16 finalists in this open call. This is the open call number 1, which is the one we are facing now. So these 16 finalists will be invited to do a pitch in front of a jury. That's what we call the jury day. Typically, this jury day is done physically. So in any project in the past, we did it, I don't know, in one specific venue where you have to pitch, have 10, 15 minutes speech in front of the jury, and then after this, all the pitches are done, you get the result. And now, since we have this pandemic still we are suffering from, we don't know yet if this jury day will be done physically or online. If it is done online, then okay, you will have to pitch using one of the tools that we are using now, like GoToWebinar or another one. And then in the end of the day, you or the day after, there will be also a meeting from the jury, and they will decide out of the 16 who are the 8 selected SMEs, KTs. Okay, so again, if there is any doubt on this process, you can ask me later in the Q&A session. But basically, to me, it was very important for you to understand that this process, or this open call process, is divided in 3 phases, because sometimes people cannot understand. So now you can right away apply to the call for expression of interest, which is open in our platform. And after that, if you are successful and you get selected as a knowledge transfer experiment, then you will have a continuous support from our side to make your product be successful. In the meantime, during this process, from the time, as I say, you have applied, you get the pre-selection, and then you make the matchmaking process. This matchmaking process, as it is mentioned here, consists in defining a challenge. So you will need to define a challenge, a technical challenge, with an artist. And then after the collaboration, the pre-collaboration with the artist, there will be a pair that is going to be done with the technology supplier. And then, of course, you need to propose all of that, a proposal, a technical proposal, but that also includes artistic challenges and the use of robotics and Lean Agile production technologies in this proposal. Well, here we are mentioning the two main tools that the Better Factory is giving you to do that. The first one is RAMP. I would say the most important one, because RAMP pretends not only to, as I said before, not only to help you during the RAMP, the matchmaking process. So prior to the full proposal stage, you are already going to use RAMP as the place where you are going to meet the artists and the technology suppliers. Then during the project is going to be the place where you are still going to have this relationship with them. And after the project, after the experiment has ended, you will be also able to use RAMP to make business out of it. So as a manufacturing SME, that will be the place where you will meet other technology suppliers, other artists for the future, for you to buy, in this case, services. And on the opposite side, they will sell these services. Better Factory is also put in place. It's under development now, what we call apps, which is an advanced production planning and scheduling. So here, the main idea is that to create an IoT platform that will make it possible to save 50% of the time and 10% of the cost. So that's something very technical, but it's a platform that basically will allow the manufacturing SMEs that are in collaboration with these technology suppliers and these artists to make the reduction in the cost production and the resources and etc. to be possible. That's going to be done thanks to this platform. Okay, so as I said, during the project, during the knowledge transfer experiment, we are going to provide you a certain number of services and support. Of course, for you, maybe the most attractive one is the funding you are going to receive. I mentioned before that the KTE will receive 200,000 euros, but this amount will be divided between the partners. And for the manufacturing SMEs, you will receive 50,000 euros. Then the artists will receive another 50,000 euros, and the technology suppliers, since they have to develop technologies, they will receive 100,000 euros. But you will also receive not only these funds, but also technical support, as I said, to make it possible for you to face this digital transformation, and of course that your factory is digitalized at the end of the project. And you are going also to receive some mentorship in investment. You will receive business mentoring that it can be very interesting for you in the future to allow you find sources of financing. Also have to make you have access to bank and investors, because as I said, the idea is that your product is sustainable in the future, so that it's possible to have a scale up of your product. For that, you will need for sure some investment. So we will put you in contact with a bank and investors to make it possible. Of course, training on the technologies we're talking about. You are going to get training on lean agile production, on RAMP, on apps, etc. And regarding RAMP, because it's very important, This is very important not only for you but also for us as Better Factory project, because we believe that RAMP is going to become in the medium term a standard in Europe to gather as a marketplace for especially the manufacturing SMEs on one hand and the technology suppliers, but also the artists and other consultants and other experts in different areas, so that you all can gather and there is an exchange of business in that. So using this ramp support, you are going to contact not only you will be able to contact not only the technology supplier and the artists, system integrators that can be part of your consortium, but to have a kind of database and contact with other technology suppliers and other artists for other projects in the future. There will be the possibility of doing a benchmarking for you as a factory, and to do analysis dashboards on data analysis dashboards, 3D digital twin, etc. Services for data collection. I mean, a lot of services around this marketplace that will be available. So it's not this slide. What it tries to transmit to you is that not only we are going to give you some funds to do your project or your experiment, but we are going to provide a number of services that will be all of them very interesting for your future development and the possibility of making you sustainable in the future. So coming back to the process or to the phase we are in now. So now there is this call for expressions of interest that is open until the 18th of March. So you still have 1 month to apply. We are not pretending to make you do a very large application, very difficult and very, I don't know, technical whatsoever. We only need to understand if you fit with our expectations and to fit with what the Better Factory pretends to do. So there is, of course, some administrative criteria, I would say. For example, you need to be established in an eligible country. And since we are an European Union funded experiment, we are talking about the members of the European Union, plus the H2020 associated countries, and we are also including the UK. To learn more about which are the H2020 associated countries, I recommend you to go to the guidelines of the call. There you will have the complete list of the H2020 associated countries, the EU members, I believe that all of you. But there is a complete explanation of everything I'm saying now in these guidelines that are available in the platform that has been established for this call. And again, I come back, you have to be an SME or a mid-cap. And there is no doubt on what an SME or a mid-cap is. Again, it is also explained, apart from what I have said already, it is also explained in the guidelines. Okay, so in this expression of interest, we pretend you to address key challenges, barriers, and ambitions that are related to a product innovation and optimization of the production process. That deals with the first slides I presented. That of course, the idea behind this KTs and the whole Better Factory project is that we help manufacturing SMEs to make their products be better. Be better means to have an innovation that you can diversify your portfolio product. You can improve them. You can individualize them. There is an artistic design that makes you competitive in the market, and that, of course, there's a number of factors that make your product be innovative and be more competitive. And of course, the second, I would say, vertical is that we also want you to be to optimize your process of production, the production cost, the energy efficiency, the efficiency also in the resources consumption. That's obtained through the this lean agile production process. And you also need to prove us you can address some key value drivers like the productivity improvement, efficiency use of resources, the cleaner production, and waste reduction. I think this also relates to the optimization of the production process. So that makes sense that you are ready to, if you haven't started, to become digitalized, to confront, to face this digital transformation that Better Factory is absolutely aiming for. Some examples of application of this. In this case, I'd like to give the floor to my colleague Rodolfo from in For Art in the Netherlands, that you can explain some examples to the attendees.
Yes, hello, Antonio. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Rodolfo Groenewoud. I'm founder of In4Art, one of the partners in Better Factory, especially focused on including the artists in our project. What you're looking at is just one of thousands of examples of how artists and designers could collaborate with SMEs throughout Europe in product innovation and product design. Without going too much into detail into this example, you can look it up if you want, and their website gives a lot of information on what they do and how they do it. Let me briefly try to picture out what types of artists we are aiming for and how they could benefit your company as an SME. Firstly, we are looking for artists who have experience and interest in taking on a product innovation challenge, either by using your existing possibilities within the factory or in collaboration, if that would be the challenge, develop new capabilities, technologically, digitally, or material-wise. And as a reference, you could look at, for instance, how the Bauhaus has operated in the earlier parts of the last century. They were a group of artists who proactively asked companies to come with their product innovation challenges to them, took them on, and developed quite a lot of radical, iconic new designs over the years. Well, that's a long time ago, but if you would look into that, you would see that the types of artists we are aiming for have a lot of similarities in the way they think and they act compared to how that group worked. The second type of artists we are aiming for are artists who also have a lot of experience with digital technologies, interest in and experience with. In some cases, that could lead to an active collaboration also with the technology supplier in your collaboration projects. You can think of, for instance, artists who are experts in additive manufacturing or data analyzing or virtual reality, and use that as a means for product innovation. Antonio, I believe there's another example after this that you wanted to show.
Yes, sorry.
Well, here, if for instance, you see an example of this, which again, just one example of a possible artist. He's called Joris Laarman, and the company he actually co-created together with some other partners is called MX3D. And they are not only designing additive manufacturing steel printed products, but also developing the software and developing the hardware, the printing arms as well within their facilities. Should you have any questions, I will be here the rest of the morning to answer them. Thank you, Antonio.
Okay. Thank you very much, Rodolfo. We are finalizing this webinar now. It's time for your questions, but before that, just to mention these addresses where you can get in to apply, and also where you can find the guides and documents. I mentioned the guidelines of this call for expression of interest. You can find them in this address, and then also here. But once you get into the microsite, you will realize that it's very easy to find the documents, etc. There is also a help desk available for all of you to make any questions if you have any doubts on how to apply. That, I mean, the application at this stage is really easy to do, but again, I recommend all of you to read the guidelines that are in the microsite, because you will have a picture not only how to apply, but all I have said regarding the support, the services, the stages or the steps of the process are written there. Even there is more details there on how the evaluation criteria will be done, etc. How the process will be done at the end during the full proposal phase. So please go to this guideline. But in the meantime, if you have any questions regarding the examples Rodolfo has just mentioned, or any of the slides that is not have not been able to transmit very clear to you, please you can proceed.
Antonio, we have several written questions.
Okay.
Maybe we can start with those, and by raise of hands, I can give the word to everyone else who has another question. So I'll just go ahead. I don't see anyone wanting to ask a question so far. So by raise of hands, we can take questions verbally as well. Meanwhile, from the written questions, did I understand correctly? We need not be proactive concerning the matchmaking process. This is something that is the responsibility of the Better Factory Consortium once candidate company profiles are clear. This is one question.
Okay, it's not that you don't have to be active. You have to be, yeah. I mean, the leading, I would say, actors of this matchmaking process is going to be the Better Factory Consortium, but you, of course, you are going to be told what you need to do. The first thing, once you are pre-selected, is you will receive an email from Funding Box, from us, who are leading the selection process. First of all, communicating that you have been pre-selected. This will happen theoretically 2 weeks or 3 weeks after you have submitted your proposal. Your application is better to say, because the proposal will come during the full proposal stage. Okay, so once you have been pre-selected, we are going to let you know that you have been pre-selected, and we are going to invite you to do the registration in RAM. So this registration has to be done by you, okay? If you don't know how, we will, of course, give you some guidelines on how to do this registration, but it's true that sometimes in the past we have had this experience that some of you had any troubles. If you do have some problems, we will, of course, help you solve them. But this registration in RAMP is something that is up on you. We cannot lead this process. It's you that you have to register. Once you have registered is when the Better Factory Consortium, the partners that are leading this consortium matchmaking, are going to of course, take the leadership and find you, first of all, a pair among the artists that have also applied, and start the process from there. Once the matchmaking process will be done, you will be informed, okay, now that there will be a communication, of course, between all of you, and there will be an ending of the process, saying, okay, now the the consortium is formed, and you can apply for the application for process for the open call for group proposals will start by mid-May, more or less. So at that time you will have 2 months to do the I would say the mid-May, or well, between the end of April, mid-May. Okay, that's when you are going to be called for this full proposal phase, but you will have 2 months to elaborate the proposal. Okay, it's true that it's very important to know that not only partners or companies that have been pre-selected now will be able to apply. It can happen, or it might happen that you are not pre-selected now because you don't follow, or we understand that you don't follow the eligibility criteria, but you can still apply for the proposal if you find 2 other partners, one artist and one technology supplier, but you can make a consortium. And so the full proposal phase is an open call. So outsiders, people that have not received the matchmaking process, haven't received the support from Better Factory in the process, they can still apply. But of course, there will be probably in an inferior capability of making a good proposal, because if you receive the full support from us, you will be able to make a better proposal. Next question, please.
Okay, let's see. Next question we have is, can we apply with an artist we are already working with? We select our own artist in advance before we submit the proposal?
Of course, you can. Yeah. The only thing is that, okay, during the matchmaking process, you need to prevent that. Once you register in RAMP, you can let us know that you have already an artist. If that artist has also applied, so I will recommend you to let them know that they should apply. Then, of course, there will be the possibility of doing this matchmaking. The fact that you select you pre-select an artist to work with doesn't mean that we are going to accept that during this matchmaking process at 100% of certainty, because we need to check whether this artist is good for you, etc. Normally, there won't be any problem, but it's not taken for granted that you can during the process. But even if we, in the end, there is, for some reason, we decide that this is not the right artist, and that we provide you another artist to work with, and you refuse, or whatever situation it is, you can always apply without receiving the support during this matchmaking process from us, because in fact the idea for us is to help manufacturing SMEs to find the right artist. If you already have it, maybe you don't need our support in that. In any case, you will need the support to get the right contact with the technology supplier. But to answer, of course, you can go with an artist, provided both of you apply in this phase. Okay, in this phase, you as a call for expression of interest, the artist has a call for experts. That question?
Okay, can there be 2 separate projects, one with the artist and one with the tech supplier, or should it be one integrated project?
It has to be one integrated project. I mean, it is mandatory that at the full proposal stage, there is a proposal made by one artist, one manufacturing SME or mid-cap, and one technology supplier.
And then following question is quite related. Can we apply as a group, SME plus artist plus tech supplier?
Can you apply as a, sorry?
As a group, SME plus artist plus tech supplier.
At this stage, I mean, in step one, there are individual calls. So you as a manufacturing SME has to apply to submit an expression of interest. We call it like that, an expression of interest. The artist, if you already know the artist and you already know the technology supplier, they have to apply separately, okay, at this step one. Then it has to happen that all of you are pre-selected and that all of you register in round, and that's when you can let us know that you would like to conform this group, and then be ready for a consortium making. If not, if one of you doesn't succeed in the pre-selection process, or I don't know, there is some of this group, I assume that you already know the members of this group. Some members do not apply in this step one. You can still, as I say, when step three comes, so by the end of April, mid of mid of May, you can still apply as an outsider without having all the support we are mentioning I have mentioned in the presentation.
Okay,
but provided you can, as a group, provided there's always one SME or manufacturing SME, one artist, and one technology supplier. Other combinations are not possible.
Is a consortium eligible where the SME, artist, and technology provider come from the same country?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
So the question is, if the SME, the artist, and the technology supplier, they all come from the same country, is the consortium eligible?
Yes, of course. We are not asking for cross-border experiments here. They can be cross-border, but they can also be national. So no worries about that.
Okay. Can a technology provider and an artist that have a project idea together find an SME via ramp?
I don't quite understand the question.
If a technology provider and an artist, they already know each other and have a project idea, if they could find a third member of the consortium, an SME, through
I
ramp.
have already answered that in the previous question. I mean, of course, but again, you need to, all of you, apply separately now in this step one, okay? But you can. I think I don't know if there are more questions, but I think it's time.
Yes, we have some more questions. Can a technology provider and an artist that have a project idea, do members of a KTE need to be from different EU countries? You've already answered to that. They don't need to be from different countries. To which extent can RTOs?
Sorry, let me interrupt you, because from different EU countries, I mean, not only EU countries are allowed. As I mentioned, H2020 associated countries are also allowed. No, that's not part of the European Union. Countries like Switzerland, Norway, there is a number of them that are listed in the H2020 list from the European Union, and which this list is available in the guidelines. So, sorry, you can go ahead.
Okay. To which extent can RTOs participate at the open call supporting SMEs mid-caps?
Unfortunately, here we are not considering RTOs. So we are supporting manufacturing SMEs, and the only way eventually would be as a technology supplier. But we are going also in the for the technology suppliers to prioritize again SMEs and mid caps. And this is not because we want to do that like for the sake of doing like this, is because there is a mandate from the European Commission to specifically support SMEs. That's it. So if you are an RTO, you could eventually apply for as technology supplier. If you are not a technology supplier, if you are an RTO, you cannot apply by any means.
Another question is, I'm not familiarized with the so-called artists. May you give me an example of what you understand by that concept?
Okay, maybe if you, I would recommend this person to stay, and right now there will be a specific session for the artists, so maybe you will get a better idea. My colleague Rodolfo already explained more or less what we are expecting from the artist to collaborate with you. But this artist, of course, has to have some experience in working with in the manufacturing in the industry, and is has to have an experience in co-creating and in this expert in design, you know, in the product design. Okay, so basically, but a more specific definition of the artist, what you expect, etc., is going to be given to you in 3 minutes now. So
Okay. When will RAMP be up and running? We have been able to register, but it is impossible to edit information about our company. Also, we couldn't find a way to search for potential partners in the database list of registered companies.
okay, to register in RAMP, you need to receive our email. You know, you cannot register right now on your own. You can, but it makes no difference for us, because if you are not given, I would say, the okay from our side that you have been pre-selected and then you can register in RAM, then I'm not going to answer this, because this answer will come once you receive the okay from our side. If you cannot find other partners or whatsoever at this point, it's normal. You will receive the possibility of doing the matchmaking and having all the potential of RAM once we let you know that you can register. If you have already registered, then as I said before, the leadership will be taken by the Better Factory Consortium members, and we will lead you and at this point let you know how you can contact and who you can contact using RAMP. Regarding the functionalities of RAMP at this point, it's true that it's not fully developed, but it will be ready for the time by the end of this month, when the matchmaking process will start. I think we can stop here, Anka, because we need to start the following one. If some people want to stay, with pleasure, there will be another session right now devoted to the artists. Some or most of the information will be similar, but there will be some specificalities regarding the artists that my colleague Anka is going to do the presentation. Thank all of you for your attention, and hopefully you are able to submit your application soon. I think I need to stop sharing, right?
Yeah, I think my screen is already showing.
Yes.
Hi everyone. Thank you for being with us today online. So as Antonio already has presented most of the common information regarding this open call, I will just briefly go through that data, and the focus of this presentation will be on the artists, their eligibility criteria, and what we are looking for in the artist application. So very, very briefly, at the same time as we are conducting the online application process from manufacturing SMEs, the artists and the tech suppliers can submit their application through the open calls that you will find available on the same platform, on the same microsite. The Better Factory project will be joined. The manufacturing SMEs in the Better Factory project will be joined by artists and tech suppliers, and together they will form the consortium which will be able to participate in the knowledge transfer program. Sorry. So from the artist perspective, we have the same deadlines, we have the same time frame. That is, the open call for applications from artists is already opened. It opened on 18th of January, and it will be open until 18th of March. This is a call for individual applications from artists. They will have to fill in an application form, which is quite brief and easy to complete. You will have to provide information, legal information and personal information about the applicant. After this process, we'll go through to the next stage, which is the pre-selection of artists. We are expecting this to be end by the end of March, 31st of March. And after that, we will be inviting pre-selected artists through an email to register to RAMP. So this is where all the action takes place in RAMP, where we are going to help manufacturing SMEs meet artists and tech suppliers in order to form the consortium, which will be able to apply for the full proposals scheduled to be opened by the end of April. So the objective, as Antonio was also saying, was to identify the challenges of the SMEs and to identify those artists willing to test their creativity and work with manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps. Once the application form is completed, we can go through the validation process and we can pre-select those applicants which we consider to be a good match for the manufacturing SMEs, their challenges, and then will be joined by the technology suppliers. You'll have to register in RAMP. This is a mandatory step in order for us to be able to assist you in the forming of the consortia. And once the match-made team is made, one SME, one artist, one tech provider, they will be able together to present the full proposal for the open call. This is, as I said, scheduled to open by the end of April 2021. The full proposal selection process, this refers to the consortia proposals, the full proposals of the three-member teams that have been constituted after the RAMP matchmaking, and this will result in 8 selected knowledge transfer experiments, which will be able to apply and get up to 200,000 euros in funding to test and apply their idea. Sorry about that. So the selected manufacturing SMEs and mid-caps, once they have defined their challenge and they have been paired with the artist, they will be able to meet a technology supplier through RAMP, and together they can present an idea to diversify or redesign or personalize the products and services of the manufacturing SMEs in order to come up with the project, an idea that would increase the product line for the manufacturing SME. The advantage for the artist here, it would be that their creativity that has been employed in the project, they've been working with manufacturing SME mid-caps, and the technology supplier will be very well known throughout the network and shared among Better Factory networks and on RAMP, which will enable them to buy to present their services, and at the same time will make their resulted product known to other artists, other registered members on the RAMP platform. The other tool that we would be providing for the implementation of this project is the apps, the Advanced Production Planning and Scheduling, which is an open IoT platform helping reduce costs and be more efficient time-wise.